Yeah.
Through the grapevine. Did I hit? Okay, I hit record, so we're good to go there. Everybody's filing in. Brian, welcome to the show, my friend. Brian View from FinLocker is in the house, and he has a special announcement and I don't know, maybe some money saving things that we
Oh
can.
yeah. We'll cover all that. And Scott, thanks for having me on today. And more importantly, thanks for doing this show Monday through Thursday. It's a great way to kick off the day. I always learn something from these, so I appreciate that you're doing this, because there's no lack of effort to do what you're doing.
To say the least. It's, you know what though, it's a lot of fun. I've met some amazing people, especially especially you, and get to play a part in what you're doing, and get the, I hear the sneak peeks and I hear the inside, so I get it before everybody else, and so it's kind of fun in that respect that that all the people I met and all the people that have been on the show and people that are coming back to the show that are super excited. So let's talk about what you have today, first and foremost, and
Right on.
share what you're doing on the inside.
Yeah, I'll share my screen. I've got some slides to go through. So
Okay.
let's try this. So I'm going to make an assumption to start that some of the folks on the call know a little bit about FinLocker. And I'll come back to that in a minute. But on Wednesday of this week, so the 21st, our next product release goes live, and the feature is called Buyer Vision. So let me just set it up a little bit.
Okay.
One of the problems that we're solving with Buyer Vision is the cost of credit, namely, the cost at the loan officer level, branch level, or even company level for single bureau soft credit pulls. So we know that the single bureau softs have become a thing with everybody trying to avoid getting their clients triggered, and the credit resellers have kind of responded by raising the cost for those, right? Supply and demand. I did a poll about a month ago, and I asked folks, what they're paying for these single bureau softs. And we kind of came up with this average of $20 for a single bureau soft credit pull. And what I found is, when I did the poll, was that in some cases, almost every lead that came into an originator's funnel was getting, one of these soft pulls run. And so whether that lead had a chance of advancing or not, they were, the loan officer, the branch, was spending $20 a pop. And so what we've developed is this buyer vision report, which essentially a consumer shares access to data that we aggregate on their behalf in our technology, which I'll show you in a minute, including the credit score range, some analysis on the outstanding debt for the consumer, any derogatories on that consumer's credit profile, and a little bit of a summary. How it works is, again, I'm making an assumption that folks understand the FinLocker tech, but I'm going to show you that in a minute. Essentially, what you would do is, instead of going into your credit system and running a soft pull, you would invite the consumer to create an account in Keysteps, which is our product. And it's a native mobile app. So the consumer creates an account, they connect their credit. The app then prompts the consumer to share the buyer vision report with the loan officer. You get an instant alert, and then you work with the consumer just like you would when you get that single bureau soft. An added bonus is, you're not just getting a soft credit pull, the consumer's now in your ecosystem. So you've created this connectivity with them beyond just that initial credit pull. And so when we talk to loan officers and we kind of think, we answer the question, when should I use this? I say, anytime you have an early lead where you're not certain that there's a there, then this is the time to use the tool. Okay. So if the consumer or you are unsure of their credit, and then any of those maybe buyers that are early in their process, think of it as a waterfall, guys. I kind of think of it this way: we're not going to replace 100% of the soft pulls, but if we can replace the soft pulls that are falling out at any kind of scale, that's when the ROI kicks in. Whoops. So the way we've priced our app, it's $100 a month for access to our entire platform. That's our month-to-month price. It's actually, for this group, it's $100 a month. Our normal price is $175 for Keysteps. And so if you avoid 5 of those soft pulls at the top of the funnel, just that buyer vision alone kind of pays for the entire Keysteps app. So the ROI is immediate if you're able to avoid 5 of these single bureau softs. But let me show you what the app is going to do for you. So first of all, when a consumer shares from their Keysteps app, you're going to get this instant alert that Sarah Johnson has just shared their buyer vision report. You'll log into our admin portal, and now you're going to see a summary of the buyer vision report. So we've got the credit score range, identifying the outstanding debt, including any mortgages. You'll notice we also have income and employment. So if the user has input their income information in the app, that would come through. We're going to bucket the credit data, right? So revolving student loan, auto, and then identify any late payments, any derogatories for you. So again, if we think of this at the top of the funnel, you can, if there's any derogs, then there's no sense to go, order a $20 soft credit pull at this point. Again, we're helping avoid extensive credit costs at the top of the funnel.
Can I share something on
another
this?
layer deeper into that buyer vision report, where again we'll identify any of those derogatories, late payments, etc.
Test.
And then, is there a question?
Yeah, no, I just wanted to say that, like, you keep talking about the buyer, the top of the funnel. Yeah. And I think we need to really be cautious of what he's saying right here. And what I mean by that is, this is what Rocket's so phenomenal at doing. I don't know if you guys saw the Super Bowl ad, but they're amazing at putting people into this funnel. And if you're not putting your own clients into the top of the funnel, and what I mean by top of the funnel is when they're thinking about talking about like that reticular activator is going nuts. And what I mean by that is they're seeing ads, they're hearing things, they're doing different things online that people are picking up and able to go after them because they're thinking about buying or selling. And that's what Brian has put in place, is the top of the funnel type system, so that you can be the one that gets these clients at the top of the funnel. That makes sense?
Yeah, thanks for that clarity, Scott. And what I'm kind of working backwards. I'm showing you.
Okay.
I'm showing you guys this feature that goes live on Wednesday, and then I'm gonna flip into. Let me just show you the consumer experience. These are the screens that will go into our app on Wednesday. So we prompt the consumer, to link their credit, which then pushes them to share that with their loan officer. And there's the call to action, share your summary, and they're in there. So let me do this. Let me pivot over real quick, because I think this will help bring some more clarity to. Can you guys see my dashboard now? It's it's our Keysteps product. Okay.
You got it.
So the buyer vision goes live Wednesday. The current product, which is I'm in now, this is the live product, the live Keysteps product, is think of it as our financial fitness and home ownership app. So to Scott's point, if we use Rocket as an example, what we've engineered with Keysteps is Rocket Money meets Credit Karma meets Mint.com, when it used to be a thing, meets Zillow. So this app has all of those features, from financial goal setting to budgeting to spending analysis to even embedded real estate search. And what we've done on top of those features is weaved in a very intentional set of home ownership journeys that start with the consumer telling us where they are on their buyer journey. So we have 5 personas. So when the consumer is invited into this app by a loan officer, they're going to identify where they are on their stage of home buying. So just getting started, this is that early journey up funnel, 3, 6, 9, 12, 36 months, if you will, from someone being ready to buy. This is that early engagement. Getting ready as somebody that's typically within 90 days. We have a lot of our loan officer clients that use the product to stay sticky with their pre-qual pipeline. And then we have a turn down persona. This is what we call overcoming challenges, ready now, and then not looking as a past client. So based on how the user creates their account by this persona, the app then kind of morphs to meet them where they're at and presents them with a set of tools. So we have this credit tool, which gives them access to their credit score, all the credit data behind it. Credit simulator allows the user to do kind of a DIY, what if, what if I paid down, I'll just say, what if I paid down $20,000 in credit card debt? What would that do to my credit score? So we're hitting the TransUnion algorithm. And in this case, telling the user decreasing their balance by 20 grand would improve their score 10 points. We have a set of financial widgets. This is where the user links their financial accounts, both assets and liabilities. So checking, saving, investment, 401k. On the asset side, personal loans, charge cards, gas cards, student loans, auto loans on the liability side. And then the spending analysis kicks in. So we tell the user where they're spending money across all those accounts. That also kicks in to our budgeting tools. So the users can create very specific spending budgets, goals to save for a down payment. And then just hitting on the high level features for your existing consumers that already own a home, they can track the property value, link directly to their mortgage. So their available equity is a function of AVM, property value, less their linked mortgage account. And then lastly, when they're ready to start, searching for homes, we do have embedded real estate search. So we have a national search experience. It's going to pop open our search here.
Do we as LOs get notified when they search?
Yeah, I'm going to show up. I don't know what's going on there. That's weird. Okay. Yeah, there's everything. As I click through this experience as a consumer, all those clicks start to create data points. Okay. And there's about 24 activities, alerts, milestones, achievements that get sent in real time to the loan officer as a consumer's doing things in the app, including when they go to search, when they create a new search filter. If I favorite this property, that's going to create an alert to the loan officer. Let me go back to the main dashboard. I'm going to show you how you show up as the loan officer.
Yeah. Tony's asking if you can white label this.
Yeah, so I'm showing you right now Keysteps, which is our non-enterprise version of our technology that's available to any loan officer. Okay. We have about 30 enterprise clients, mortgage companies typically, where we do a white label deployment, publish the tech to their accounts on Apple and Google Play. I'm showing you the web version. Everything I'm showing you is also in a native mobile app, including this Keysteps app. And we support, the loan officer can also invite an agent. So we support co-branding with an agent. Those real estate activities, search, filter, favoriting, also create instant alerts to your realtor partner that you've connected with as well.
What constitutes an enterprise account?
Typically, we are doing enterprise for companies that have 100 or more loan officers.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
I mean, we'll do it for anybody, but it's, the enterprise comes with a steeper setup fee, right? For Keysteps, there's no setup fee. It's literally, for this group, it's $100 a month for a loan officer, or $80 a month if you pay the annual subscription up front with no setup fee. Okay. Enterprise is going to have, a $7,500 setup fee because we're going to publish. We're going to publish an app to our clients.
It's your own app. It's your own app. Okay. Gotcha. One time, is it 75 one time? 75.
Yeah, just for the setup, and then we'd have our per user per loan officer seat license under enterprise.
Yeah, and the reason Mark said the site says 175. So he like, through this group, you guys are going to get it for 100. And the reason I bring, we've never sold anything on the show. Yeah. But if you could have 5 white pulls, like I don't even know what I'm looking at right now. 5 warm pulls, and pay for itself. And if you're not doing full, 5 warm pulls, like, so the system pays for itself. So I consider it free. And if you do any more than 5, I know people that are doing way more than 5. I mean, you're losing money by paying the $20, whether you're paying for it or somebody's paying for it. So Brian just put a link in the chat box to get it for the 100. And that's why I brought him on, because this rolls out Wednesday. And can I share who you're tied with? You already kind of put it up there, but this is, I don't know if you guys are wondering this, but this is tied to TransUnion, correct?
Yeah, there's 3 key integrations where the data comes from. The first integration, we get all of our credit data from TransUnion, so the credit score and all the the consumer credit data. So here's an example of what the consumer would see on their credit report. When they open that tab, they're going to see all their accounts from TransUnion. The user can drill in and see all the visualization of it.
Wow.
With our buyer vision, we create a different view for you all using the same credit data and present that back to you. So yeah, Scott, TransUnion for credit data.
Yeah.
We have an integration with Fiserv for all of our financial account aggregation, where the consumer prompts, the consumer's prompted to permission access to their financial account data. And then lastly, our real estate data comes from an integration with Home Genius Real Estate, which is the real estate technology platform owned by Radian, the mortgage insurance company. So 3 significant
huge
integrations with data providers that power this experience for the consumer.
Yeah, Jason Frazier's here. He says this tool allows you to play in the full cycle of a consumer, not just the end, which is so valuable. Value of your home, credit scores, like all kinds of different things, like what if simulators, like home search, like there's like you put it all in here. So
yeah, there's a lot. And guys, I will if anybody wants to go deeper, certainly just reach out and we could schedule one-on-ones and go deeper. Scott and I have been talking about this buyer vision report. Frazier, who's on, we did a joint presentation a few weeks back for his group and for Empower LO. And there's what we saw with the rising cost of credit was a challenge that it's not going away, right? The bureaus, the credit providers are not going to lower the cost for credit. And so we already sit on that credit data. And our goal with our platform is to create a better coaching preparation relationship between borrower and loan officer. And so that's really the objective behind Buyer Vision, is to create a better experience for your consumers, especially those early consumers, and provide you data to coach them. And just to kind of talk about the frequency piece, when a consumer connects their credit, their score updates every 7 days. Wow. And so does the credit data. So, the $100 a month that we charge a loan officer to access all the features of this product includes a consumer sharing that credit data as often as they need to, right? So most people don't just pull a single bureau once, especially if someone's starting early in the process. So this really just, this is the first time our product has an immediate ROI. Otherwise, our ROI has been extended because we're a nurture and preparation product more than anything.
Tony's asking, can we upload customers for the real estate equity tracking shopping as a replacement to HomeBot?
So that is the next that's the next major feature we're working on. Today, this product is engineered in a way that it requires the consumer to activate an account, right? They create their account in Keysteps, and then they can link their property. We're going to have a feature probably in mid to late June that essentially will compete with some of the other valuation engagement platforms, where you would be able to drop a list of your clients with their property address in our back end, and that will auto push communications out. Wow. Including focused on their property valuation. the difference is that's not going to be just a single set of communications focused only on property value. We're going to use that property value engagement to prompt the consumer to actually go deeper into the app. So we'll prompt them if they, to get free credit score, credit monitoring, and credit alert. So we'll use that as a hook to pull people deeper in.
Wow. Martine says, do you have an open API to push data to the CRM?
So we do have a set of API docs. We have a handful of integrations. Our latest integration is with Empower LO. So that's that's Fraser and Michael McAllister's CRM.
Awesome.
But we can share the document, our API documentation, and we have some lenders and loan officers that are listening for those webhooks through his app and updating their own CRM.
Awesome. Kayla is in the house. Do they need to be tied into company at all, or can an MLO use this outside of being integrated with their company?
So what we're showing on the screen, Keysteps, is essentially a non-company version of the FinLocker product, right? So the good news is we have about 30 companies, and so there's several loan officers probably in this population that work for a company that has a version of FinLocker, and you can either use this Keysteps or your company's version of it. But yeah, we developed Keysteps specifically for loan officers who are not part of a enterprise client of ours.
Awesome. And then Cynthia's asking, I had FinLocker with a previous company. Can these borrowers be ported over?
Yes. Yeah, okay. Cynthia, you could reach out to us directly. We can write a script on the back end to move users over.
Do you have a trial? Like Roy's asking for for a link to go, like have a meeting and go over everything, or was there a?
There should be in the link I put in the chat. There should be a link to learn more. Let me find that here. Yeah, there's a scheduled demo right on that link that I put in the chat. I'll drop it back in so it shows up at the top.
Jason's, go ahead.
I was just going to say our contract, we have a month-to-month contract. So for this population, it's literally $100. Cancel at any time. We reduce it to $75 a month if you pay the annual upfront. Okay. So we don't have a quote unquote free trial, but literally you can use it for $100 a month and cancel at any time if it's not working for you.
Cool. Jason, he says Empower LO is a preferred GHL, which is go high level, built CRM for Keysteps. And Jason, could you put in there how they would get a hold of you if they were interested in something like that as well? Thanks, Jay, for being here, man. Does Nazar says, does the soft review give you the scores from all three bureaus?
No, it's a single bureau soft credit. It is a Vantage score, not a FICO. But the idea here, guys, is if you can avoid running a soft for those early or questionable consumers that come into your sales funnel, I think of this again as a waterfall. So if you put Keysteps at the top of the waterfall, and then now you only order the soft credit pulls based on those that kind of come through the waterfall, this is where that cost avoidance comes in.
Yes. I mean, this could save some people hundreds, if not, I know branches that could save thousands.
Yeah, it's been crazy hearing how much people are paying for single bureau soft credit pulls.
Yeah. Debbie, no, it doesn't cost the client anything.
That's right.
Any plans to make it the other two bureaus?
Never say never, but right now the way that we price this is based on our cost for the credit data, and our use case with the bureaus for the credit data falls under credit education and engagement, which is different than a lending use case. So again, that's why I think of the waterfall. So if If
So
you
big.
can use a tool at the top of the waterfall that keeps you from having to order a soft credit pull 100% of the time, it's just it's a smarter way to kind of think about your stack and your expenses. The minute we add additional bureaus, and then the minute we pivot from a consumer credit education and engagement to a lending use case, we're like any other
Lender.
credit
Yeah.
reseller.
Gotcha.
And the costs are just going to go, unfortunately, through the roof.
And I think, Matt, I can't stress enough the power behind putting them in the top of the funnel, the top of the waterfall. That's where the power of this system is going to come in. It's going to play a huge critical piece in knowing what your clients are doing, where they're at, and like putting them on. I mean, it has automated follow-up, right? I mean, because it gives the client the information they want to come back for. Like, what is my value of my home? What is my credit score? What is my credit score doing? And if you educate them on the power of this tool, you're going to keep them instead of lose them to another waterfall, if you will. Like, this is an amazing waterfall, and it's not going to cost you anything if you're doing five soft pulls and it's paid for. So it's giving your clients something that they want to come back to. And it has, you said 12 data right now, only 12, but when you add the value, the value add and all that stuff, but there's going to be even more than 12, but it's going to show you what they're doing inside of the system so that you can have triggers of, and if by adding the stay top of mind, staying visible, likes, comments, happy birthday, all the stuff we talk about on a daily basis, if you're doing that plus this tool and it's not costing you anything because you're already spending the money. I'm not trying to sell Brian's software. I'm just saying if it's a waterfall capture at the top of the funnel.
Yeah, I'm just sharing my screen, guys. This is what we call the readiness assessment. So once a consumer has created their account, connected their credit, and answered a few questions about what their home ownership goals and objectives are, we create this perpetual readiness assessment, and we use stars, 3, 4 stars. 4 stars is someone being ready to apply. And so every time a user goes into this readiness assessment, that's another instant alert that the loan officer gets. So it just creates a different way for you to engage those early pipeline, early funnel consumers. And I talk a lot about this concept of getting to the consumer at the point of thought versus only interacting at the point of sale. And tools like, Mint.com, Rocket Money, Credit Karma are focused on that point of thought experience. And that's what Keysteps now offers you all is access to a set of tools that you can use to create engagement much earlier in a consumer's buying cycle.
Yeah, and I just want to clarify, there's a couple of questions about, can we bill the client? There's no cost to the client. There's no cost for the soft pulls. You can have
we never charge the consumer.
Yeah, so you can have 100 soft pulls. I mean, if you're pulling 100 people, it's not going to cost you any more than what you're already paying for the system for Keysteps. That's right. That's the beautiful part about this. So if you want to bill your client 100, I guess you could bill one client 100 per month, right? And then your Keysteps are paid for. So
yeah, I don't know how that would work from a compliance perspective.
Yeah, right, I know. Yeah, we're not. Yeah, no compliance officers here. Is there any additional cost for no additional cost? Is it possible they could share with others? I mean, like, are you seeing that, Brian? Like, a client that has this, hey, check this out. Check your credit score. Check the value of your home. Like, that could be a thing.
Yeah, right now our model is 1-to-1, right? So it's the 1-to-1 is between the sponsoring loan officer, right, who invited the consumer, and the consumer themselves. So it's a closed ecosystem, which is the difference between the Rocket Monies and the Credit Karmas. Those are lead generation systems. So consumers going into those apps are getting marketed to. There's no advertising, no marketing, we're not selling the consumer anything. This is a 1-to-1 relationship. So think of Keysteps as putting a moat around your prospect, your lead. The buyer vision report is kind of stage 1 of this concept of sharing with others, but we're never going to enable a consumer to share access to their data with another lender, not when they've been invited in by a loan officer or a lender themselves, right? we do have a use case for sharing with a credit coach, credit counselor.
Nice.
That'll be something that we work on probably in Q3, Q4.
Hey, Tom, I love the way you're thinking, man. Tom said, can you add realtor partners so they can share this to their clients?
Exactly. So this is
Is it just one, or can you have other agents and have that agent show up on all their stuff?
So unlimited consumers per loan officer and unlimited agent partners. So
wow.
each agent partner, so Brian and Chris here, each agent partner has its own unique invitation link. So if you have 20 agents, each with a unique link, they're filling your funnel for you, right?
Wow. Okay, you already thought of that. Good stuff. So it's co-branded with the agent. So the agent's at the bottom with you of every single thing that goes out, everything that they touch, everything they see. It's always there. Yeah,
we do bifurcate what the agent sees from an activity perspective.
Okay.
So loan officers is the only participant that sees financial activities and alerts and milestones.
Yeah.
Agent sees any activities that are real estate related. So a new search filter, properties favorited, etc.
Wow. Okay. You guys seeing why I bought why I brought Brian on, like the value by having this top of the funnel marketing piece for your consumer, for your agents. I didn't even know about the agent piece, so that's kind of mind blowing for me. That's amazing. So Kaylee, you like it? Who's seeing some value in this?
Yes. Guys, I'm going to drop in the chat another link here because there's a question about co-branding, marketing, etc.
Cool.
So we've created a resource page that you all have access to for content. So we've got some social media content, some scripts, email scripts. If you're partnered with Jason Frazier, you're going to have what we've done plus, exponentially more because he's the man.
Yeah.
But we have created some content for y'all.
I heard he's got some cool stuff. So
yeah.
Man, Brian, thanks for what you're doing, man. I know you're nose to the. I know you're everywhere, and you're trying to help as many people as we can. And this is where, man, we just connect so heavy that we just want to keep you guys in business. And the only way to stay in business in this market is to have a top of the funnel type system, on top of an amazing, easy to use follow up to be top of mind and visible with your customers. And this is an easy way to do it. And have a system do it for you that has value that they want to see and check out and always come back to. And I don't know why they wouldn't share it with their friends, family, coworkers. You know what I mean? Like, why would they not? If they shared it with their friends, is there a link that their friend can sign up for this through the portal?
Right now, no, but that is another. We're not lacking for like items in our product roadmap, much like RETR. Right. You guys are cranking out features all the time.
Yeah.
We are creating a share with friend, family deal as well. Last thing I'm going to drop in here, guys. On Thursday of this week, I'm doing a live on LinkedIn. And I'm going to actually show the live screens that I showed you the slides on. And then my friend Kyle Draper is going to be the keynote for this live. He's going to share his expertise around showing up funnel. So I'll spend 15 minutes on the live, but Kyle's going to be the show. So I dropped that link in there for you as well.
Debbie's asking, what scripting would you use to sell this to your client? I don't know if you need to sell it. I think you just say, hey, I have some very awesome, amazing data points that you might be interested in. Would like credit score, value, like what's going on with like ways to improve your credit, and it's 100% free. Would you like me to send it over to you?
Yeah, I think, and that's one way to do it for sure. And there's some sample scripts in that resource page that I put on the chat. But Debbie, what I would say is whatever your script is today, when you're ordering a soft credit pull, if if for whatever reason there's a little squishiness in the conversation with that prospective borrower, where you're not sure if spending 20 bucks is the right use of your capital, the script is just going to be, hey, let's see where you're at. I'm going to send you a link, create your account, link your credit. It's going to share access. It's going to share your credit data with me. And then we're going to use that to coach you on, next steps. So it's really, I think the way I think about the buyer vision feature itself, it's just going to change the conversation you're having around initial credit pulls. And guys, one thing I'll always say, if you have a consumer that comes into your funnel, contract in hand, they know, they're qualified, you need to get them to point of sale. So I wouldn't put anything in front of that consumer, including Keysteps. I'm suggesting that for any of those questionable, conversations where it's just a little squishy on where credit is, start with buyer vision, because it's going to be a more cost-effective way for you to understand where they're at. And then based on what you see in the buyer vision report, you can go run a full soft credit pull if the data says it makes sense to do that.
Gotcha. Unbelievable, man. Yeah. And Kim brought up something good. This is the biggest thing: the client doesn't have to worry about their data being sold, right? That's right. Through Keysteps, it's not a trigger lead.
No triggers.
No triggers.
It's a soft consumer credit pull.
That's a selling point. Jason said, yeah, good point.
And I can't emphasize enough that it's a closed ecosystem, meaning it's literally just you, the loan officer, and the consumer in this ecosystem, right? There's no other, we don't sell any data. We don't market any products or services to consumers. It's all about keeping them in your ecosystem.
Jason says not just triggers, but also giving the contact info to all the portals for home search calculators. Yeah, like it's endless.
Don't do that at all.
Yeah, it's very cool. Very cool. Any questions for Brian on this? I was just I was over the moon excited when he told me this was coming out. So thank you for protecting the community as far as when it comes to LOs and all the data that comes with it, and the triggers I know are a huge issue with customers getting called seconds. Yeah, please.
And that is, and it's going back to like on the search side of it. Because Jason's absolutely correct. If a client goes like to Zillow or what have you, then Zillow, you got all those triggers and selling the client's information. So is there with the home search, are they able to save stuff or to see the home so just to totally eliminate a realtor.com or a Zillow or redfin.com for the client to search on?
Yeah, let me just, I was going so fast that I didn't cover everything I normally cover because I really wanted to focus on buyer vision. But let's look at real quick. I'll show you
properties.
Once a consumer favorites properties, like if you remember when I went into the search, I favorited this beautiful home in New Orleans. And so this is what the consumer sees is the listing ticket, if you will. And then we layer on top of it where that property falls in their budget, as well as their estimated payment. And then they can favorite an infinite number of properties in here, right? So the beauty of this is that action of favoriting a property creates a trigger lead for you,
but only you.
And it does not trigger any other real estate activity. So our search experience it's also a closed environment with Home Genius. So the only other agent that a consumer would ever see in our search is the agent on that listing ticket, because per MLS, they have to see them, but they don't see any other agents.
What about if I'm partnered with an agent and, if I'm partnered with Scott at Agent Scott, so would he get that trigger as well, or would he have to let him? Okay.
Yep. So if I as a consumer created my account under Kim and Scott, that unique link, any activity that I do in the app that's real estate related, search, filter, favoriting properties, sends you and Scott in real time an alert that a consumer has shared. So let me see. I should have received a couple. I've got a couple alerts in here. So here's an example real quick. This came over when I searched that property in New Orleans.
Just now.
I'm the loan officer, so in real time, I
9:14.
literally
Look at
got
that.
this alert that I'm
Wow.
searching.
Wow. Okay, and then Jason brought up he says, great question, Kim. He says, and you can use for agents because they hate when their buyers use the portals because they get routed to other agents.
Yep.
And if they fill out a form. So if they're inside of here, they're safe. Like you can, I mean, if you educate the consumer on the power behind all of these things, I don't know why they would go anywhere else. You know what I mean? But you can't give them a link, or you can't. I don't know how you get them in there, but you can't. Like, and Jeff's asking, what would you also include buyers that are not looking to buy for 6 months?
100%.
1,000%.
Look at I think,
top of the funnel.
Guys, what gets me excited every day about what we're doing for lenders and loan officers is we're giving you the playbook, part of the playbook that we're seeing executed by Rocket, Redfin. You can lump Mr. Cooper in there because we have a whole past client engagement strategy as well. And so, I firmly believe, and I know Scott, and I know Frazier is a big believer in this, Devin as well, that the local loan officer is still the single best resource for any home buyer, especially early journey home buyers. And early journey, it's 3, 6, 9, 12, 36 months, right?
Yeah.
And so if you have the ability to offer a very modern technology experience for that consumer that only up until, recently, only the biggest of the big brands had, that just brings more value to the local loan officer. And that's what really excites us and keeps us going every day.
Yeah. And Jason said agents, especially now, are concerned about all these big mega mergers taking consumer attention. 100%. Yeah. That's why I was so excited about this, Brian, that you're doing. You're like everybody said it here. We're creating our own ecosystem where it's not, it's like keeping them inside of you. And Brian talked about it elegantly, where he said, go micro. This is where, if you go micro, you remind people who you are, what you do for a living, and you do all these things to give all this valuable information that they want at their fingertips. Every 7 days, their credit's updated.
Yeah.
Go in and do what if simulators. They can see value of their home. They can see what would it look like if I bought this home. So Kayla, how you doing, my friend?
Hi guys. I absolutely love this so much, Ryan. Yay. Quick question. So I look, and this is me being very vulnerable, and I look at all the lost leads that I have, and it's people that decided not to buy, or like you're not staying in touch with them. Is this something that you feel could be beneficial for maybe people that were pre-approved at some point, and you send them back to this just to kind of, I don't want to say big brother, but it is kind of a way to kind of watch what they're doing, but also to send to closed clients that, they're going to get that valuation? Do you feel it could be mutually beneficial for both, even if they're, obviously a lost lead, yes, but even the people that have already closed on a home?
Totally. Yeah. And we have, I flashed it on the screen. I went fast, guys. I know that, and I apologize. And Scott, I appreciate, we're at 44 minutes on your 30-minute show.
So have a ton. Nobody's leaving, man. Hardly anybody's leaving. So let's just make it a day. Let's do it.
Brian?
Yeah.
Brian, can you see the search criteria of the clients and their results? Because going back 20 years ago, Home Buyers Marketing did something similar. Yeah. And there's a lot of cool things you can do with this data. Like if you've got a buyer in an area you're comfortable with who does a search and you see they only get 2 results, if you can jump in and go, hey, whoa, what did you do? Well, I want to see stone fireplaces. Get that out of your search criteria, because the agents don't use it. You're going to have to go through pictures.
This is where
too smart, Jerry. Jerry, you're just too smart, man.
No, I love that. We're threading the needle on everything we do with respect to the data agreements that we have with our partners. And so the MLS data requirements and contracts are fairly restrictive on what can be shared, with somebody that's not a licensed, realtor, if you will, or broker. So we do show, I'm looking at my admin portal to see exactly what we show here.
When you put somebody in to follow up and say, hey, how'd your search go?
Yeah.
And, oh shit, I only saw one property. Okay, walk me through what your selection criteria was so you can coach them a little bit.
100%. You
thing is,
have enough data to have that conversation
right.
for sure. Let me just show you real quick
what they're looking for in terms of property. Like if you, for example, say we know we've got a buyer pre-approved to 400, and all of a sudden they're looking at $800,000 properties.
Yeah.
Can you see that change?
Can you see my screen here?
Yep.
So I'm looking at the back end of what a loan officer would see at the consumer level. And so here's what you're kind of referencing. This is the level of data. Now, this is a bad example because this consumer hasn't saved any properties yet, but
that's okay. I mean, that's also a coachable moment. You can
Yeah.
call the client and say, "Hey, if you save them, you can see the MLS updates. So
That's
if the
right.
price drops, if it goes under agreement, you'll learn the market by using the system."
Yeah, there's enough data. Here's the way we think about this is we're not trying to replace the loan officer.
Right.
We're trying to provide enough meaningful, contextual, timely data so that you have more reasons to have better conversations with those prospects, right?
Right.
So to your point, Jerry, if you know that they've created a filter, because you'll see the filter, but they haven't
Yep.
favored any properties, then you can make assumption number one, they haven't found any that they like, or two, they haven't figured out how to favorite properties, and that's a coaching moment for you.
That's cool. Can you see property type? Like, can you see from single family to multifamily to condo to? Can you see that or not?
I don't think so. I think our MLS requirements don't allow us to go to that level.
Okay.
Yeah.
But in this instance, though, from a realtor, like if we're connected with a realtor, that's a good phone call that we can have with that realtor. Like,
Absolutely.
hey, Scott, I see Jim Smith, has gone in and he set up criteria. You may want to reach out to him. Because what the realtor can set up in their MLS is they can set up auto alerts and they can get more information. So it may be a good, it kind of really shows a partnership between me and that loan officer. I mean, that agent.
100%.
Jason.
And then guys in the admin portal, you'll also see the data behind the consumer star rating. So we measure readiness across cash to close, income, credit, and DTI. So you'll see all that as well.
Crazy. Jason brought up he's kind of smart too. So hey, you can use this as also to help agents work their aged leads. This is how you can get high intent leads, even if aged, without having to run ads or buy them. It also helps you strengthen existing relationships and create new ones. You now have a system to plug them into. This opens agents' eyes, especially when you show them that leads they had closed with other agent. So, I mean, this is just a huge piece to create a world that's safe.
You can also watch age dead leads become super active on a Friday afternoon where they're looking at, 15 properties, and then, hey, look, we've got phones. You can just call them up and say, hey,
don't
how
do
you
that,
doing?
Jerry, you don't want to call them. Don't call them.
No, I call them.
Don't call them.
Hey,
Tony,
Scott Martin asked about adding our own search link to replace. Unfortunately, no. But if I go back to, I'll go back to share my screen again.
I'm just thinking of that realtor partner.
Yeah.
If it got pushed to their IDX website and, again, keeping them within the partnership.
Yeah. What I would say is, in the realtor's card, we can, behind this. So this call to action, contact your agent. It basically is going to be a push to the agent's, contact / website. So that's one way to do that. And so it's not as simple for us, to customize and add another link to push out. But if we had like an enterprise custom, then there's some more flexibility, but not with kind of the single user.
Tony, what's up, my friend?
So I have a question. So my head is spinning. Like if you're this national company, so now if I brand with a realtor and the customer doesn't have any, if a realtor, typically that customer would be limited to search the MLS to the MLSs that agent's part to. So now the clients have the ability to actually search the entire United States, which gives your realtors opportunities as well as us to leverage some relationships and some referral opportunities off of this as well, correct? I mean, there's no geographic restriction. It's a wide open because of your access.
Yeah, our integration with Home Genius Real Estate, they cover 97% of the inventory listed at any given day, right? So they have like 320 MLS integrations inside the Home Genius app.
Wow. All right, guys, grab the LinkedIn link. He's going to go live and share some of this stuff. Tony, thank you for the question. Your head okay? I know it's a lot. For me, dude.
I love it. This is fantastic. It's like, which path do I travel down first? I'm working with an agent today that's got 20,000 stale leads in her system. I'm like, we were going to go down a home path or a home bot route, but this to me, here's the other thing I'm thinking, and tell me if I'm on, HomeBot or Home IQ, whichever, that is strictly real estate related. This gives you kind of an umbrella, which to me would reduce your likeliness of an opt-out, because if somebody's no longer in the search, they still want to pay attention to their credit. Right. So I think that you have this ability to kind of, pivot on this and get one spot that, I personally, the soft pulls are great, but I don't even, we just go hard or nothing, right? Like you have freecredit.com, whatever, but it's, there's a lot of good stuff here.
Thank you. Yeah. And I would tell you, Tony, that, and this is for everybody on the call, and this is not just for FinLocker, it's any technology that you're considering. Like ours has a lot. We cover a lot of, pieces of the consumer. We would, if you were to come on board, we would help you just kind of pick an initial lane and get like uber focused on that initial use case. There you go. And then you can kind of expand off of that.
I'm on board, Brian. 3:15 this afternoon. That's when our call is.
No, Tony, no.
Love it.
Don't do it.
I do have another question though, too. I ask is, do we have the ability, like those guys, Empower and whatnot have done their integration. If we have connections with other companies that, obviously are serving the community, is that an introduction that we can make for you guys so that those integrations could be built as well on a Go High Level platform?
Yeah, it's just a matter of prioritization. We're a relatively small player, and most of our focus is on the product itself. But we'll the good news is with what Michael and Jason and Empower LO have done with our integration, has some rinse and repeat. They're our preferred and our best partner for the Go High Level platform. But the base of what we've done together is usable for, others that are on it. But the beauty of what we've done with Empower LO is it's not just the CRM piece, it's Jason's marketing mastery and kind of how he thinks about consumer engagement. And we kind of bring that whole thing together.
Awesome. He got a few appointments. Thanks, Tony, for your mind.
Thank you. Thank you, guys.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah. All right, guys. Great call today. Thank you. Hope everybody loved it. Hope everybody got something little out of it. I think the biggest message I want Brian and I want you to get is some way, shape, or form, whether it's Brian's, whether it's whatever it is, create your own ecosystem where you're staying top of mind, giving value to the consumer so they come to you first no matter what's happening. And so you have that chance, not only the chance from them, but from their friends, family, coworkers. Because if you're giving something of so much value, of all these data points and value adds, they're going to tell their friends, family, coworkers to come to you. They're going to remember you. They're going to see you, and that's the whole point of this thing. So that's thank you, Brian, for putting it together, my friend.
Scott, thank you, man. I appreciate you. Thanks, everybody.
All right, guys, have a good day. Same time, same place tomorrow. Don't miss tomorrow. Have one of the #1 LOs in Florida going to be on the show, and she's awesome. So super excited. And then don't miss Wednesday, because we got the guy that's got 125,000 followers on TikTok. The guy is unbelievable. You're not going to want to miss that either. So great week coming up. Have a great day, everybody. Appreciate you. We'll see you tomorrow morning. Bye-bye.